welcome back everyone. Welcome back to another day, another edition of the LiuLi Cup 2024 Grand Finals Playoffs, day number 4. I'm of course your ZvP. With me, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all to day number 4 of the playoffs. We just wrapped up yesterday with eliminating two additional players, and now we've reached the upper echelons. We've reached the top 4 players remaining here in the tournament. We have 2 Zergs, 1 Terran, and 1 Protoss, and the question becomes, who will be the next to be knocked out of the tournament? We have our next best of. This is going to be the lower bracket semifinals, if you will. We have a PvZ before you. We have MaxPax versus Reynor. Here we go. The best of 5 is upon us. Vetoes are done, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the Italian Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Danish Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is a Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we settle into our PvZ. Again, as a reminder, the loser of this series will be eliminated from the tournament. The winner will advance on to the lower bracket finals, waiting for the loser of the upper bracket finals. We'll get there. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look back yourselves. We'll be going over the bracket after this series to catch up on all the matches, to catch up on where we are. But now we're focusing on our game. And as we focus on our game, a big shout to Thorn in the chat. Thank you so much to Thorn969 for the resub, the Twitch Prime of 9 months. Oh my god, Pappy, it's been 9 months. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for all that you do and for supporting the channel here over in the CranKy Ducklings. We do appreciate it. We do appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the content, hope you enjoy the casting, hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Thank you so much. As we settle into our PvZ, and this is going to be, I believe, actually, I was going to say a rematch from Masters Coliseum. Actually, I don't recall if these two actually competed, because if I remember correctly, MaxPax, he took down Cyril and he went up against Hero in Masters Coliseum. Hero took down Reynor, so if I'm not mistaken, I believe MaxPax and Reynor, they missed each other. They missed each other in Masters Coliseum, and they actually did not play whatsoever. Let me quickly double check that. And yeah, they missed each other entirely. So now we get to see what could have been. You know, what if Reynor had seeded a little bit differently? What if Reynor had defeated Hero, or if he had defeated Cyril? What could have been? We're here to find out. We have that kind of missing link, that missing series from Masters Coliseum, as these two will face off here and now. Let's go. Let us go. Do love to see it. As we are going to be getting into our standard opener, it's just going to be a gate expanded to Saber. Of course, standard opener here out of MaxPax going into his own Stargate follow-up into Oracle, most likely. You know, standard openers is typically MaxPax's go-to. Meanwhile, Reynor back at home opening up with a more standard opener as well. Hatch gas pool into a third base. When it comes to Reynor's style in this matchup, I mean, we got to experience him against Hero last night. It was an intense back and forth, went all the way to the ace match. It was very clutch, very close. Great to see once again more ace matches. If you recall, Hero took down Reynor in an ace match in Masters Coliseum. Here in the LiuLi Cup, Reynor takes down Hero also in the ace match as well. So very closely matched of the two. This time Reynor did kind of persevere, did advance on instead. And Reynor had a very aggressive and very active style against Hero. We'll see how that compares to MaxPax though. We'll get into it as it does get in. One drone goes down. One drone already falling, and barely doesn't get the second worker. But so far, good pickups here by MaxPax as he does shade out and does shade away. What I was getting at though is that Hero, he's known for being an aggressive player himself. He's known for being active, known for being in your face, and we saw that come to full fruition between Hero and Reynor. This is why we love casting them, because they're both very similar players. They're both very aggressive. They're both very in each other's faces. But that was also the downfall of Hero. I do recommend the VODs. If you missed them, I do recommend those VODs. Hero, multiple times, he was being active, he was being aggressive, and he was struggling to defend against the run-bys of Reynor. Reynor, he was so persistent and so adamant about Ling Flood after Ling Flood, Ling run-by, Ling drops as well. He was just all over Hero. He was getting damage done, and eventually Hero did crumble or I should say his economy crumbled under the pressure of Reynor. Here, MaxPax, I was gonna say, is more known for more defensive play and for more macro play. That is how MaxPax did overcome several in their series, if you recall. But here we kick things off with Glaive Adepts. Let's go. This is gonna be a Glaive Adept build here out of MaxPax. And I'm a little bit concerned. Thankfully, safety Roach Horn. That's going to be a 4-minute 30 Roach Horn here out of Reynor. A little bit later, but a safety Roach Horn nonetheless. So Reynor, he will have the tools to defend. We'll see if he can set up some Sim City. I will say that the wall here is looking a little bit awkward as if there are holes on both sides. I'm concerned that MaxPax may just overwhelm and deal critical damage. Again, we saw a hero tear several apart with Glaive Adepts. We saw it happen to Reynor as well. This is a style that can catch an opponent off guard. It's not something you want to rely upon too heavily in a series, but once or twice in a longer extended series, I mean, it works well. Does work well. For the time being, the Oracle is going to be zoned away. The Oracle did scout the Roach Warren. MaxPax is aware. And behind this is banking up those adepts. How many adepts do we have so far? 9. 9 adepts. We can since go up to 12. But now is looking to shade across the map. And Reynor, he's about to scout. He's about to confirm. Ooh, yet to do so. Oh! As he dips in, and there we go. Now he sees the Lings. Now he's fully aware of Roach production has begun. Lings are on the way. And we need to wall up. We need to wall off. As Max actually races across the map. There's still, yeah, it's going to be a really awkward wall here as the Roach Warren was thrown down in the center of that gap. So 3 Eva Chambers get thrown down. So far, the wall is solid. Oh no! I spoke too soon, as again, there were just multiple holes in this wall. The tumor allows for the adepts to get in. The SimCity is less than ideal, and drones are going down. Reynor, he's taking a lot of losses already. Ooh, forced to cancel. Shades into the main, more drones falling, and this is already becoming critical damage here. Shading in towards that third. MaxPax pulling a hero. It's like, who cares about macro? Who cares about a longer game state? No. Let's start things off with a bang. Start things off with a win. 15 drone kills. Oh my god, the one adept still alive here at the natural. 50 workers go down. That is basically a full mineral line. There's still more adepts. And drones are still being denied, or mining is still being denied here at the third. So very strong start for MaxPax. Oracle's, no, sorry, the Spore is not here. Oracle dives in, and more drones are falling. MaxPax, he's still not done. 18, 19, 20 drone kills. No. 20 workers go down. Larva as well. Denied mining time. Cancelled bases. Just chaos, havoc all over the place. And remember, this is not an all-in. That is what is terrifying. That is what is devastating about this style, is that MaxPax behind this, getting into a transition. Blink is almost done. Getting to Blink, Forge, +1, Robo, Temple Archives. Some players like going double Robo into Immortal from here. We can see MaxPax going into Blink, delaying Immortal production, but regardless, he has a standing army. MaxPax, he's perfectly fine. Roach speed just began. Reynor, he's not counterattacking anytime soon. There is no early counterattack. MaxPax, safe and sound, is ahead in the economy. He's pushing in. You may be looking at this and being like, oh, Reynor, you know, he's on 66 drones. That's 3 base saturation. He's okay, Copium. The problem here is that he invested so much lava into rebuilding that economy that the army is lacking. As we can see here, this is the army, and Reynor, he just cannot keep up. Whereas otherwise he would have been building up an army with a secure economy. Here he had to rebuild the economy instead. The army is non-existent. Queens are going down, and MaxPax is coming in to knock Reynor down. The soup does lie, as the army supply here is inflated by the roaches and by the ravagers. So even though Reynor, he's up in the army supply, it's not accurate. That's safe, Pappy. That's it. It deceives. As MaxPax is moving in again, trading well against all these things. He's got stage traps behind this to make sure it doesn't get surrounded. If Reynor is able to build up a solid roach count, though, he can survive. It's all about building up those roaches. Oh, speaking of, roaches are going down. Takes out one stalker. Oh, god. Yeah, as more roaches are falling. There's stage traps behind this. Reynor, he's aware he has to back up. At the same time, adepts, they do hit the fourth. Making sure there is no mining, there is no economy. MaxPax getting further ahead, getting a fourth base, getting it saturated. Behind this, Storm is on the way. +2 as well into charge, Immortal production as well. MaxPax refining his army. And Reynor doing everything he can to live. He's trying to hold on. Up! Ooh, gets a Ravager. Brutal pickoff. Roach speed is now done. We have Burrow and Tunneling Claws on the way. Now, this is a way for Reynor to bounce back. He has to do something crazy, something wild. He has to go for either drop lords or run bys or Tunneling Claw roaches to get across the map to get some kind of damage done. We'll see if he can, as he still needs more time. From here, MaxPax rotating. He's like, you know what if I just kill the base? Yeah. Rotates, gets one, gets two. Two overlords. Fighting for the back. Station traps that get baited out. Not bad. There's still two more behind this, though. And remember, behind all of this, High Templar, they're gathering energy. Immortals are banking up. Stalkers as well. MaxPax, he's just getting that greater army up and running. And they're trying to hold on. Burrow's almost done. In a couple of seconds. Stasis goes off on the Lings. Another stay. Oh no! Oh my god. Whew. As thankfully the third stasis doesn't quite go off. Roach run by has arrived. Distracting MaxPax. Reynor pushing in through the left hand side. Trying to pull MaxPax apart. The last MaxPax is in position. Observers with the main army, but there is potential on the right hand side for those Tunneling Claw roaches. Ooh, Storm's popping up. The Vials! Ooh, they graze the Immortal and some of the Stalkers. There it is. There's the bar. See what Reynor can get done. Behind this, ooh, Infestation is just now on the way at the 11-minute mark. Prism into the main. More results on the way. And we'll see how Reynor does respond. Main army moves out. Oh! There's the Burrow. Roaches get caught. Reynor getting caught off guard. It's going to be 9 more drone kills. And GG. GG gets called. The writing was on the wall for a while there, and MaxPax takes the lead. MaxPax takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG will play it again. MaxPax kind of working against his reputation here, opening up with Glaive Adepts. I do appreciate this. I do think it's a really smart way to play out a series. I do not expect MaxPax to go Glaive Adepts again in this series, but it's a good way to start things off and a good way to kind of catch your opponent off guard and keep them off balance as well. So a strong start here for MaxPax. Reynor, it's going to be on him to take a breath, to recover, and to settle into our next game. Ooh, we're going to be loading into a much larger map here. So again, these more aggressive builds, they're favored on smaller maps like ley lines. Now we're going to be loading into a much larger map. We're going to be loading into Amygdala. Oh boy. We'll see if Reynor can recover here. As Amygdala, very large map, very defendable as well. Now we have seen a lot of Protoss players, including MaxPax, go for 3 base 8 gate all-ins. This is typically reliant upon expanding towards their opponent, towards the Zerg player, keeping up pressure and overwhelming over time. We have seen MaxPax have success with this. We'll see if he does that here as well, or if he takes a more macro approach instead. Again, I'm not opposed to seeing something more macro oriented here in game number 2 after a more aggressive build in game 1. And typically it's on the Zerg player to react, to respond, and to adapt. Catching with the chat. Shema. Shema, papi, Shema. Ah, good to see you. Shema. See, Saber joined in the chat. Easy feel as well. Get that, get that. Psychon, Soundo. Kalasi, get that. We did Smurge. Oh no. Smurge, papi, Smurge. I mean, Glaive Adepts can be really brutal to deal with. You could, if you recall when it occurred, I was really concerned when we saw the initial placement of the Roach Warren. You could argue that I mean, I would say that was a big part of the damage that was being dealt there. Unfortunately, because of the Roach Warren placement, we saw just really rough SimCity that was required for Reynor. He thought that he was walled off. He wasn't, right? He threw down like some panic Evo chambers, and he was trying to wall off, but wasn't able to. Adepts, they got in anyway. It was a rough moment. For sure. And it all just snowballed from there. But now we're getting to game 2. And I want to believe we're going to have a back and forth. I'm going to believe. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Italian Zerg player, the blue Zerg, representing Basilisk. It is Reynor. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. Leading the series 1-0. Like your red striped shirts. Thank you. We'll get there eventually. Have yet to do the laundry. Don't worry, don't worry. I'll wear them again one day. It'll happen. But now though, to our standard openers, and welcome one and all to Amygdala, of course. Welcome. Amygdala being a very large map of the map pool, long rush distance by ground. There are potential gold bases. Once you gain map control, you can embrace the gold, and we have seen a lot of late game on Amygdala. If you recall, Serral versus MaxPax, even Serral versus Hero in Masters Coliseum, we saw a lot of late game here on this map, split map scenarios as well. The reason for this is because of all these rocks, it can be quite difficult early on to punish a third, a fourth, and a fifth base. Can be difficult to punish here. Because of that, I mean, we can end up in a maxed out kind of scenario, a late game composition scenario a little bit faster. Likewise, once these rocks get knocked down, then you can start to rotate between bases. Now you can start to try to pivot around and keep up with the armies. But Protoss players have been getting very, very good at keeping up with that, at splitting up their armies into two, keeping up with all these rotations and maintaining their defensive positions, and being as efficient as possible. If you recall, I'm brought back to, God, what game was it in the Serral MaxPax series, where MaxPax, he was playing it out beautifully, and he was even, I think it was game one. It was game one. No, sorry, it was not game one of MaxPax and Serral. It was. Let's see. Was it LiuLi Cup? Yeah, it was game one of their series on LiuLi Cup between MaxPax and Serral, where MaxPax, he was playing beautifully the entire time. He was out trading Serral, he was out mining him, he had more bases, he had more economy, and then Serral had some amazing fights, specifically, if you recall, where he was able to catch out the army with fungal growths, where I would say that MaxPax got impatient. It's something that doesn't often happen, but I do think he got impatient. He did overextend that one time. He got caught out by fungal growths. And then it happened once here towards the south, and it happened once here towards the north as well. And that was enough for Serral to bounce back and to recover. We'll see if we can get into that kind of game state again. I know that MaxPax is willing to. I don't know if Reynor is. Reynor, he has expressed his disdain when it comes to late game ZvP, and how difficult it can be, and how passive you need to be, or how more patient, and how, yeah, it's not really Reynor's style here. I mean, that's why we love, like, players on the dichotomy between Reynor and Serral. Same with Hero and MaxPax, for example, where they're like two sides of the same coin, where one of the players is a little more macro and the other player is a little more aggressive. But yeah, because of that, I don't know if Reynor is willing to end up in that kind of game state. I'm always reminded of, if you recall, Reynor recently played against Spirit, where Spirit, he's also known for slowing the game down, and Reynor was getting very chatty in game. Like, he was he was like, really? Like, are we playing like turret defense? Like, what's going like spamming dots, like visibly getting frustrated. I think we had Reynor on cams at the time as well, and like that's how he'd be. Like, he just wants to fight. He just wants to go in. He wants to be like active and aggressive. And yeah, there are definitely states in SE2 that kind of stop that from happening and can deny that. So Reynor, not the most patient player. We'll see. But now we're settling in. Ooh, Robo first. Hello. We are setting up for an Archon drop. Okay, so as we were yapping away, standard opener into a third base with the Oracle with the Stargate, but as you can see here, no additional Oracles. Just one Oracle into a faster Robo, into a delayed Twilight Council, into what should be a Templar Archives, into a War Prism, into High Templar, Archons, and Archon drop. This is a build that has been permeating throughout the, I would say, European region. Of course, Mana is known for this, Cristiano is known for this, Geralt does dip into this every now and then. The Polish Protosses, they kind of, thrived on this for a long time. And in more recent times, it does feel like MaxPax and even Hero have been mixing this in every now and then as well. Mainly more MaxPax and Hero. But here comes that War Prism, as we mentioned again, War Prism into Archons. And there's that Temple Archives. So the Archon drop is coming. This leads into Charge, of course, into +1, into eventually Storm. As there's the Fortune +1. Prism moves out. And the goal here is to hunt down Overlords, hunt down Queens, get some drone damage, and more importantly, maintain map control. And allow MaxPax to actually saturate on 3 bases, take gases, and get a 4th. Now, there is going to be a timing, specifically with Charge and +1. There's going to be a +1 charge timing available to MaxPax. He can try to commit to it. If he recognizes in time that he won't be able to deal any critical damage with it, he can deviate away and of course get into Storm and just macro and max out and throw down a Fleet Beacon and get into Sky Toss. So that +1 charge timing, like, it doesn't have to be an all-in. If you recognize that there isn't really an opening, you can just get into Sky Toss. He wants to go Jelly. He wants the Queen. Ooh. The Prism overextends. Does take a lot of hold damage, abandons one of the Archons, and one Archon goes down. Massive pickup here by Reynor, and MaxPax did get a little bit impatient there, get a little bit too excited, and does lose an Archon. Big loss from MaxPax, and Reynor does punish. Whew. So again, that was a bit of a blunder from MaxPax. That should not have happened. With that, MaxPax does need to tighten things up here. Oracle towards the bases. MaxPax still getting some damage done, but again, the Archon, losing an Archon that early on, it's a pretty big loss. So let's take a little momentum away from MaxPax as he pulls away. Storm has begun. Third base fully saturated, building up 2 Immortals at a time, and there's the 4th. Third base on the way. When we do force a cancel. Nice pick up here by Reynor. Does deny the expansion. Reynor behind this, taking up into that late game in towards a Hive and Lurkers as well. So Reynor, he's not setting up for an earlier push. He's embracing a longer game, at least for now. Nice around, catching up for Zealots. Keeping the Zealot count low. Meaning the MaxPax's army, I mean, he won't be able to hit as strong of a timing now if he did want to. Go base on the way. Reynor is droned up to 86. Successfully droned up, might I add. And here comes MaxPax. Now the question becomes, does MaxPax commit into a move out, into a push, or does he posture, deny a creep, and then throw down a Fleet Beacon? I'm leaning towards Fleet Beacon at this point. To be fair, Reynor doesn't have any Lurkers. True. There are no Lurkers ready. Not yet. So MaxPax, he has an opportunity here. For now, denying mining time. Rotating over at the same time, Reynor getting ready for a counterattack or a surround. Does that run right towards the south? Does distract Reynor. Getting a couple of workers. Getting a couple of workers. More High Templar warping in. And Reynor still, I believe, no lurkers yet. I'm concerned for him. MaxPax going for the storms. Zones Reynor away. Storm on the Lings. Yeah, these are brutal storms. And Reynor, he's getting caught out. Has he been too greedy? Did he delay production too long? There's 3 lurkers on the way, but Reynor, I don't think he can stop this. At this point, even with these lurkers finishing, there's only 3 of them. There's plenty of Immortals, plenty of storms. Once again, Reynor, he attempts to surround. And Reynor, he abandons the base. MaxPax, he can collapse into this. Takes out the expansion. MaxPax is being very tentative. I do think he can be a little bit more adventurous here. A little bit more brazen. Just came with the production. He checks, he sees only 3 lurkers. He has enough. 2 more lurkers on the way. The longer this goes on, the worse it's going to be for MaxPax, but he is pushing through. You have massive storms, the lurker line, it's going to go down. 2 more lurkers, 3 more lurkers morph in. But again, it's only 3. Prism's getting low. Up! Prism goes down, no more reinforcements. Nice snipe from Reynor. And from here, MaxPax has a choice. He could either push in and go for the natural or rotate over towards the 3rd base. What does he go for? He's rotating. Rotating instead, massive storms. Army comes in from behind, the lurkers are exposed, he gets one, he gets two, there's one lurker left, 0 left, GG gets called, and MaxPax takes the 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played, MaxPax. He extends his lead in the series. As a reminder, it's a best of 5. We do have at least one more game ahead of us, but Reynor, he is in trouble here. Again, Reynor, he did decide to drone all the way up to 86, and he also decided to tech all the way up to lurkers, but he was only sticking with purely Ling Hydra up until that point. He didn't make any safety lair tech lurkers, he didn't cut workers early on to try to embrace into lurkers earlier. Again, as you mentioned, there was a big window because of Reynor's greed. There was a big window where he was vulnerable, and Reynor, he didn't take that push seriously enough. As we were trying to mention, if MaxPax did notice that there was too much of a defensive line, if there were already lurkers in position, then Max could just back off and then tech up into Skytoss. But as we saw, I mean, as he saw, there was an opening. There were no lurkers whatsoever, only 3 lurkers morphing in towards the end. There was just not enough to defend. MaxPax goes for the kill. Does commit, does go for the kill. GG, well played. Whew. And with that, I'm hoping we get a back and forth. I'm hoping that Reynor can bounce back here and bring us back to, you know, an extended series into Game 4, into Game 5. But things are looking a little bit rough here for Reynor. What I will say is that there is going to be potential coming into Game 3. Game 3 is going to be on El Dorado. Interesting. Now again, El Dorado is a really quirky map. Like, it shares some unique features for defensive play or sometimes aggressive play as well. There's the goal bases, there's also the terrain. There's a lot to get into, and it does typically allow for more stylistic play to actually shine a little bit more as well. So we'll see what Reynor has in store for us here on El Dorado. The pressure is on. Pressure is on. Not even Sky Toss. But again, like, winding it back to that game, it was just Reynor being hyper greedy. Like, he was being very greedy. Again, joining up to 87, taking up into Hive, into Lurker Tech, not making a single Lurker until he started those Lurker upgrades on Hive Tech as well. Like, Reynor, he was cutting a lot of corners. You know what we say? What happened to Reynor? His pants were down, papi. Got caught with his pants down. Ay, ay, ay. Wear a belt, papi. Wear a belt. Be safe. Animal. And here we go. We're getting into game number 3 and spawning. Oh, let's go. Going for a 12 pool. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of El Dorado, we have the Italian Zurich player representing Passless going for the 12 pool. It is Reynor. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the red Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming, leading the series at 2-0, 1 game away from advancing on into the next round. It is MaxPax. Here we go. Here we go. You're going to suggest that all SC2 players use protection just in case? I'm going to suggest that Hero, he should think about walling off his natural every now and then. That's what I'm going to suggest. That's what Este Hero. Ay, ay, ay. He just opens up and lets anyone inside. Oh no. Hero, look after yourself, papi. Look after yourself. Ay, ay, ay. Look, I'm just saying, mate, last night's Heroes matches. It was a prime example, papi. Prime example. Hero, and we'll pull the voice. Would it still be Hero if he probably will though? Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Anyway, it's going to be a 12-pool drone pool. 12-pool drone pool, one or another. The game is about to end. Reynor, he has had enough, and it's all or nothing. Meanwhile, MaxPax back at home for the time being. He's in the dark. He has no probe scout. Uh-oh. No probe scout here out of MaxPax, which means Reynor, he can overwhelm this pylon, and he can end the game. No units, no zealots, no nothing here for MaxPax. And Reynor, he's going to shut down the production. Pylon is exposed, pylon goes down. Again, 0 probe scout for MaxPax. Pylon goes down, no production, purely probe. And Reynor, I think he just wins. I'll be honest, I think he just wins from here. It comes in with a surround, the probes, they try to get him to the drone drilling. I see, done here by Reynor, he shuts down the probes. And with that, we have a series. GG gets called. Reynor, it's time for MaxPax to be caught with his pants down. No probe scout. MaxPax had no idea what was going on. He gets punished for his greed, and Reynor fights back. Let's go. GG, well played. Again, without a probe scout, MaxPax, he had no tell that there was an early pool, that there was no hatchery, that there was anything happening. He was completely blind as to what was going on, and he gets punished for it. GG. GG, well played. We have a series. We have a series. Beautiful. The Geralt Slayer build. Let's go. There's a PSA for all Protoss players out there. Probe Scout. The PSA. Probe Scout. It'll keep you safe. Oh. Yo. And as we get into our next game, are we off racing? No shot. No shot. Okay, we're good. Never mind. Main race. Okay, for a moment there, I thought we were going to see something very different. We're all good. As our next game is going to be on Ultra Love. What a macro game, showcasing the Zerg late game. I mean, MaxPax has not been showcasing the Protoss late game either, to be fair. That has... No one has done that. No one has done that this series so far. And here we go. We're getting into game number 4. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the blue Zerg player from the land of Italy, representing Basilisk, being... Let's go, he's doing it again! Going for the 12 pool. Once again, 2 games. What are the odds that he thinks that your opponent thinks you're going to do it twice in a row? No shot, no chance. This time, though, thankfully, there's a pro moving out. It is Reynor. And spawning in the top right-hand corner. This time he's being sensible. This time he's actually scouting his opponent. Thankfully, he won't be caught with his pants down twice in a row. Not this time. From Denmark, it is MaxPax. Oh, he's crazy. The probe has left the station, and he is here to scout. Drone moves down. Hopefully, MaxPax... I mean, again, even if he doesn't go into the main base, he should see the Lings. He should see the Lings as they move out. As we do see Reynor, he's banking up lava here, or ideally he's banking up for those Lings. And of course, Reynor, he's aware of the probe. He knows that the probe is there, so he knows that it's going to be unlikely for him to get away with pulling the boys unscouted. There's a probe scout, confirms timing of the spawning pool. Now MaxPax knows. Is aware of what's going on. Here comes the drone. Hatch. We're going for a hatch block. Reynor slipping in. Oh, unfortunately, there's no room here to block and wall off the wall, as that is going to be a Cyber core before Nexus. Very safe play here by MaxPax. So for those that are curious, typically you would delay this Cyber core and go for a Nexus first, but MaxPax went for the Cyber core before Nexus, playing very safe despite not even knowing the drone was coming. Lings are moving in, but this means that there is a wall. There is a wall that is set up, and MaxPax is secure. Just really safe play out of MaxPax. Behind this Reynor, he expands. And Reynor's droning. So Reynor is going to try to macro from here. Lings have arrived. They're hoping for a surround on the Zealots. If MaxPax isn't too careful, then he will get surrounded. So it's a very delicate dance here with the Zealots, as the Gateway's taking a lot of hits. Up! Gets a swipe off. Up! Gets another. Does pull the boys to make sure the Zealot doesn't get surrounded, and with that, MaxPax he holds. With 2 Zealots he has held, he won't lose any gateways. The expansion is heavily delayed, and from here, Reynor should cancel the hatchery. And it's going to be on Reynor to survive the counterattack. What I'm referring to here, what's left over? 2 Zealots and 2 Adepts. He's the first, soon to be a second Adept. This is a lot of army that can counterattack and that can wreak havoc across the map. The hatchery finishes! Reynor, he's going to commit even harder here. He's going for the Queen, and the purpose of this Queen is to spread creep. It's to spread creep to get a tumor down, and to delay even further. Behind this Reynor, he's been droning his heart out. Lings, they race back home. Zealots, they kept busy here at the hatchery. Up, the probe gets 1. 1 probe goes down. Adepts, they turn back around. Lings, they get another probe. MaxPax sipping up a little bit here, as that's 2 probes going down. And here comes the Queen. Queen about to pop. Lings, oh, they almost get a surround. And more Lings popping out. Does he get the tumor? Nah, he shouldn't. Yeah, he shouldn't get the tumor. Queen is going to be cleaned up. Lings, they bust into the main. They try to get another probe, but can they? They can. Ooh, third probe goes down. Can they get a fourth? Not quite. Good probe drilling here from MaxPax. With that, the proxy has been dealt with. And Reynor behind this, he is getting into link speed, or ideally wants to get into the gas geyser into link speed. Now, this is going to be a tough hold for Reynor. We mentioned it before. This is quite an army. No longer is it 2 adepts and 2 zealots. It is 3 adepts and 2 zealots. And actually, did I say 3? 5 adepts. 5 adepts and 2 zealots moving out across the map against 2 queens and a handful of slow lings. It's going to be a tough hold. It's going to be a tough hold here for Reynor. See if he can maintain himself. Alas, actually, some of those adepts, they get left back at home. Never mind. Only 3 and 2. Okay. So 2 adepts, they do remain back home. So MaxPax, he does have less to push in. And with that, Reynor, he surrounds the zealots. We'll shut them down. Shuts down the zealots. Adepts, they cancel the shade. Reynor, he is stabilizing. And so is MaxPax. Okay. Whew. I see in the chat, MaxPax should pro pool as revenge. True. Yo, imagine if MaxPax had counterattack with 5 adepts, 2 zealots, and the boys. Like, unironically, MaxPax might have been able to break this. Like, unironically. It would have been crazy, by the way. It would have been crazy. Actually, with Reynor pulling his own boys, I think it would have been okay. Yeah. Never mind. I'm overestimating the power of 5 adepts. Regardless, would have been fun, is what I will say. Would have been amazing. From here, MaxPax, he's going to be stabilizing, getting expanding, getting his natural Void Ray into Oracle. Meanwhile, Reynor back at home, getting a 3rd base, droning up and going for link speed. What I find most interesting though, Reynor, he's not droning. Reynor, he's cut workers at 35, he's making more lings. And Reynor, I mean, to be fair, I mean, he needs to. That's a lot of adepts. Jesus. 7 adepts? 9 adepts here for MaxPax. Threatens a shade, gets a queen. Oh, we're down a queen. 2 queens left. Voider has right. Like, again, like, this army looks small, but in this kind of game state, like, this army has so much potential. Link speed finishing up in 7 seconds. Shades into the middle line. Drones going down. Oh, this is getting out of hand. This is already getting out of hand. Good position here behind the mineral line. Lings, they come in for the surround, and they will clean this up. As they shades over the queen. Queen goes down. Massive pickup. Oracle supports. Rough trades here for Reynor, as he will lose so many lings. Void, oh, get out of position. Going for the hatchery. Can he kill the expansion? I should be able to. Yeah, the queen should be able to keep up. As more drones are going down, remember the queens have been dying, so there's no queens here in between the bases. Yeah, 0 queens to defend. GG, MaxPax. He does end up punishing Reynor, and MaxPax will take the series 3-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. MaxPax, he overwhelms. He will take the series. Shout out to Reynor for making a series out of this, for being able to take a game here against MaxPax on El Dorado. A very entertaining game. But outside of that, MaxPax looking very solid, looking very stable. Here in the game 4, was able to punish the initial 12 pool proxy hatchery. I'm a little bit shocked that Reynor did allow it to finish. Reynor, he was very committed when it comes to getting damage done across the map. In the end, it wasn't worth it. And again, we see just how difficult it can be to transition out of a 12 pool because your link speed is so late. Because link speed is so late and your droning is so delayed, and like just early on, a handful of adepts can overwhelm. Like a handful of adepts, an Oracle, and a Void Ray. Sometimes that's all you need. It's just it just makes for a really awkward like early game defense. And with that, congratulations, MaxPax will advance on. Likewise, Game 1 and Game 2. Game 1, if you recall, I do feel like a lot of it came down to the misplaced Roach Warren. Like, the Roach Warren placement was really rough for Reynor, so he never even had an opportunity to stop the first wave of adepts. For those who weren't here, it was Glaive Adepts. Glaive Adept build in Game 1, and Reynor, he had a really chaotic attempted wall-off at the natural, which didn't really quite work out, and Adepts, they just wreaked havoc and just pulled him apart. Game number 2, of course, we did have a much more standard setup with Reynor being too greedy. Reynor, he was too greedy, he droned up, he teched up, and then he died. He just didn't have an army to survive against the push of MaxPax. So Yeah, in the end, congratulations to MaxPax, and that leads us into our next series. Here we go, as we switch our scenes over and catch up on the bracket. Here we go. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at it yourselves. I believe the Wikipedia page should be updated. Ooh, let's just refresh and catch up together. Okay. So LiuLi Cup has been a fun tournament so far. We've had the best of the best facing up against each other here in LiuLi Cup. We of course had MaxPax previously taking down Serral taking down MaxPax previously. Clem took down Hero, and we have the upper the upper bracket finals coming up next. The upper bracket finals here, best of 5 between Serral and Clem. The rematch of the ages. Let's go. Best Zerg player in the world going up against the best Terran, or the best player in the world. Here we go. You don't get better ZvT than this. I mean, I say that. I think I mentioned before, and I do stand by it still as well. I do think that currently the best opponent in this matchup, specifically for Clem, has been Reynor. Reynor has had some amazing games in WTL, in Star Zagora, some amazing ZvTs. I'm curious if Serral has been willing to adapt and to try to emulate Reynor in this matchup. It's been a while since these two have faced off against each other, so I'm curious how Serral has changed, if at all. For those that are curious, Serral, he would very often go for more... I mean, to be fair, the last time Serral and Clem played was in the previous map pool. If you recall, it was at EWC in the previous map pool, and we saw Clem doing an amazing job at just punishing Serral time and time again. Very often, we saw Serral attempt to go for gasless openers, often punish for it. We saw Serral try to go for certain all-ins on certain maps as well, also scout and punish for it as well. Like, Clem was just all over Serral. But I'm, again, curious if Serral did take notes of Reynor's matches against Clem, where Reynor was a little more active, a little more aggressive. Reynor, he would often not open Roach, he would open up Ling Bane, he would embrace mass Muta as well, go for mass counterattacks. Reynor, with a much more aggressive style, did have more success against Clem. So we'll see. We'll see how Serral will approach this. We'll see if he has adapted and switched things up. Just because, on top of that, new patch, new map pool as well, I'm curious to see how they compare. I do still favor Clem coming into this, but I do think that Serral has a good shot and a good chance, and I'm ready. I'm just curious to see how they perform against each other. I'm more curious than anything. Scrolling down a little bit further here, we have the matches that just concluded. Of course, MaxPax took down Skillus, now Reynor as well, and MaxPax, he's waiting for the loser of this series. If you're a fan of either Serral or Clem, do not worry, because hey, the loser will still be in the tournament. There is a safety net underneath these two players as they're coming from the upper bracket, and it is double elimination, so they will still have another chance, potentially for another rematch. True, we could see another rematch here, as they are facing off against each other, and the loser will face off against MaxPax tomorrow. As a reminder, today only 2 series. Today was MaxPax v Reynor and Serral v Clem. Tomorrow is going to be lower bracket finals and the grand finals. So a 5-day event, and we will crown our champion tomorrow. Go. It's catching up in the chat. Just catching up. A Protoss not named Clem? Why would you not want a Protoss named Clem to win? What do you mean? Clem, the best Protoss in the world, Pappy. You want him to be a representative, obviously. So still potential for a Protoss champion, of course. Protoss in the finals, PvP finals, even maybe it's possible. Here we go. Clem, sorry. Yes, let's go. For now, though, we're going to be going on a break. For now, we're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we will have our next series. Vetoes are currently underway, so vetoes, they're currently being conducted, and when we return, we'll have that finals. See you soon. Oh. Well, the up bracket finals, I should say.